You make $300,000 a year. Let that sink in. $300,000. The average American earns $62,000 a year. You are nearly 5 times that. And yet, right now, today, Tuesday morning, your bank account has $847 in it. Payday is 11 days away. You're sitting at your desk, pretending to read emails, but you are actually doing math in your head. Which bill can wait? Which one absolutely cannot? You make $300,000 a year, and you're doing poor people math. This is not a story about being irresponsible. This is not a story about gambling, or addiction, or making stupid decisions. This is a story about a trap, so sophisticated, so normal, that millions of Americans walk straight into it every single day, wearing a smile. This is your story. Let me show you exactly how it happened. You're 36 years old, MBA from a good school, director level at a mid-sized tech company outside Atlanta, Georgia. You worked hard for everything you have. Nobody handed you anything. When you were 24, you drove a used Honda Civic, split rent with 2 roommates. You told yourself, one day things will be different. And they became different. By 30, you were making $120,000. By 33, you crossed $200,000. Last year, you hit $300,000. Every raise felt like arriving, like finally becoming the person you always knew you could be. But here's what nobody told you about arriving. The destination keeps moving. When you hit 120, you upgraded the car. Nothing crazy, just a lease. A BMW 3 Series. $800 a month. You deserved it. When you crossed 200, your wife mentioned the house. The kids were getting older. The school district in a nice suburb was rated highly. The mortgage was steep, but you were making good money. You could handle it. When you hit 300, the Range Rover arrived. Your wife needed something reliable for the kids. The country club membership followed, because your colleagues were members. And you were at that level now. You were not being reckless. You were being appropriate. That is the trap. Now let us look at what $300,000 actually feels like in real life. The government takes roughly $110,000 before you see a single dollar. Federal tax, state tax, Medicare, Social Security, gone before it touches your hands. You take home about $15,800 a month. Now watch what happens. Mortgage, $4,200. BMW lease, $890. Range Rover lease, $1,100. Private school for both kids, $4,700. Groceries, $1,200. Utilities, $400. Phone and internet, $280. Subscriptions, and you have more than you realize, $340. Country club, $600. Gas for 2 luxury vehicles, $380. Eating out, because you're exhausted every single weeknight, $1,400. Add up, $15,490. You bring home $15,800. You have $310 left. $310. And we have not touched car insurance, health insurance, the kid's dentist appointment last month, the birthday party next weekend, the roof that has been making a sound you keep ignoring. You are one unexpected bill away from a credit card on $300,000 a year. Now here is the moment everything changes. It is a Wednesday night. Kids are in bed. Your wife fell asleep on the couch watching something. The house is quiet. You are at the kitchen table with your laptop open and a glass of water that has been sitting there getting warm for an hour. You open your bank account. $847. You sit there, and for the first time in years, maybe ever, you do not close the laptop and go to bed. You stay. You open another tab. Your investment account. $12,400. You have been at this company for 3 years. You have earned, you actually do the math, $870,000 in that time. And you have $12,000 saved. $12,000. Something happens in your chest. Not panic, not anger. Something quieter and more honest than either of those. You think about your father. He taught high school history for 31 years. Never made more than $58,000 in a single year. Drove the same Buick for 11 years. Packed lunch every day. Took the family on 1 vacation a year, always a road trip, always somewhere within driving distance. He retired at 63. Paid off house. $400,000 in savings. 0 debt. Sleeps 9 hours a night and goes fishing on Tuesdays. You are making 5 times what he ever made, and you cannot sleep. How? That question does not leave you. You carry it into the next morning, into the commute, into the meetings where you sit across from people who look as put together as you do, and you wonder, is this happening to them too? You start reading, quietly, privately, like you're researching something embarrassing, and you find the answer, not in one book, in many, in forums where people talk about money without performing, in studies and research, and the stories of people who built real wealth on incomes far smaller than yours. The answer has a name: lifestyle inflation. It is simple, it is silent, and it is absolutely devastating. Every time your income increased, your spending increased to match it. Not because you were greedy, because you were human, because our brains are wired to normalize whatever we have and immediately want the next level. When you made 80,000, the Honda felt fine. When you crossed 150, the Honda felt embarrassing. When you hit 300, the BMW felt appropriate. You were not buying cars. You were buying identity, spending money to feel like the person you believed your income said you were. And here is the brutal truth underneath all of it. It never worked. The BMW was exciting for about 90 days. Now it is just a payment you make automatically on the 14th of every month. The country club felt exclusive for one semester. Now, it is an obligation that costs you $600 a month and fills you with mild dread every time someone suggests meeting there. The private school felt like good parenting. Now it is just the place your kids go. And the reason you cannot save money. You are running a race with no finish line. Spending to feel successful. Feeling successful for approximately 3 months. Then resetting and spending more. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. The human tendency to return to a stable level of happiness, regardless of what happens to us. You bought happiness on installment plans. It never arrived. But here is where your story changes. You are sitting at that kitchen table on a Wednesday night, and instead of closing the laptop, you make a list. 2 columns. What I own. What owns me? The first column is short. Some furniture. A small savings account. A retirement fund you have been meaning to contribute to properly for 2 years. The second column fills the page. You look at it for a long time. Then you make a decision. Not a dramatic one. A quiet one. The kind nobody announces on social media. The kind that actually changes things. You're going to stop performing wealth and start building it. The country club gets a 90-day cancellation notice the next morning. The woman on the phone barely reacts. You realize she did not know your name. You look up the public school in your district for the first time. Rated 8.4 out of 10. You never checked before because you assumed private meant better. You never questioned the assumption. You sit down one evening and calculate what would happen if you took the combined lease payments, $1,990 a month, and invested them instead at 7% annual return over 20 years, $1,147,000. You read that number 3 times. You've been trading over $1 million for the feeling of driving something impressive. For people who are not paying attention anyway. 7 months later, the leases end. You buy a 2021 Toyota Camry with cash. $18,000. Clean, reliable, completely invisible. Your wife buys a Honda Pilot. Cash. $22,000. You max your 401k for the first time. You open a brokerage account and automate $3,000 a month into index funds. You cancel subscriptions on a Sunday afternoon and feel almost nothing. At the end of that first month, you check your bank account. $4,200 left over. You check again. You're certain you missed something. You did not miss anything. You just have money now. 1 year later, you still earn $300,000. Not a single thing changed about your income. Everything changed about what you do with it. Investment account, $71,000. Savings, $28,000. Emergency fund, fully funded for the first time in your adult life. You drive a Camry to work. Your colleague pulls in next to you one morning in a Porsche Cayenne. Brand new. Financed. He makes $280,000 a year. You smile. Not because you judge him. Because 8 months ago, that was you. And you know exactly where that road goes. Your wife started her consulting business. Made $11,000 in the first 6 months. Not life changing on its own, but she is alive in a way you have not seen in years. There is breathing room now. Space to try things. You took one vacation this year. Road trip to the Smoky Mountains. For days. $1,800. No resort. No performance. Just your family in a rented cabin. And food you cooked yourself. Best trip you have ever taken. Here is what you now understand. That you did not before. Wealth is not income. Wealth is what survives after income arrives. The average American earns $62,000 a year and struggles. You earned $300,000 and struggled. Because the number on the paycheck is meaningless. If the number leaving the account matches it every single month. Lifestyle inflation is not a personal failure. It is the water we all swim in. Every advertisement, every neighborhood, every colleague with a new car, everything around you is constantly whispering that the next level is where life actually begins. It is not. Life is happening right now. In the kitchen, at the school pickup, on the road trip where nobody is performing for anyone. The most dangerous financial position in America is not poverty. It is earning enough to look wealthy while building absolutely nothing. Because poverty is visible. People get help. They make changes. They have no choice. But the high-income trap is invisible. You look successful. Your colleagues think you're fine. Your family thinks you're fine. You think you're fine. Until a Wednesday night, when the kids are asleep, and the number on the screen is $847. And the quiet in the house feels like it is asking you a question. Are you actually building anything? Or just performing? You still earn $300,000 a year. But now, for the first time, the answer is yes. Quietly. Without announcements. Without a new car in the driveway. Or a club membership. Or a resort vacation. Just money, finally, going somewhere it cannot be taken back from. Nobody knows. Nobody needs to.